What's up guys, and welcome back to Rising Thrills. Today we're back here at Hersheypark on Friday, July 25th. We have something pretty cool planned for today's video, so let's get in the park and see what it is. Okay guys, first we stopped at Dispatch and got the pepperoni pizza, so let's dig in. Okay guys, it's not a big surprise, but today is National Merry-Go-Round Day, so I thought what better way to celebrate than to ride the Carousel at Hersheypark. This is the oldest attraction at Hersheypark, and it's actually the third carousel they've ever had, which is kind of crazy. The first carousel they had was the first ever ride they had, and you know, Hershey bought a carousel because he thought it'd be fun to have it in his park. And then that one they closed down, and then they opened another one, and then that closed down, and then they opened this one. And it is currently the oldest operating attraction at Hersheypark. So let's get on it. Okay guys, just got off of the carousel. I mean, it's a great way to celebrate National Merry-Go-Round Day. It is what it is. It's not obviously the most intense ride in the park by any means, but it still is a fun attraction, especially on a day like today. A classic ride really, especially for Hersheypark. And this ride was manufactured by Philadelphia Toboggan Company in Germantown, Pennsylvania. The ride has an organ, compared to some carousels that just have recorded music in them. And the ride is almost completely untouched from the way that it was when it was built, other than the one sleigh they modified in order to be able to have ADA access onto the ride. And this is the original location for the carousel, right here along Founders Way. This is the original location of this carousel. And then in 2019, they tore it apart and took it down to Chocolate Town, where it is now, in order to have it at the front of the park due to the change of the entrances. And I believe one of the carousels, I'm not sure which one, at one point had brass rings. So I believe at that point, it was before Hersheypark, went to an all-day ticket system. Back when they still had pay-per-ride system. So if you got a brass ring, then you could ride it again for free. So there's basically an arm sticking out to the carousel, and if you come around on the edge, you try to grab the brass ring. If you do, then you get a free ride. The carousel at Knoebels still has that feature on it. I would have preferred obviously to go to Knoebels for this, but it is what it is. Kind of didn't plan it until today, so couldn't really go to Knoebels. Yeah. Okay guys, now we're going to get on to the Teacups. Due to the nature of this ride being basically a merry-go-round where you spin yourself around, so let's get on it. Okay guys, I got off the Teacups, and I really would say that ride, it's pretty easy to spin it, especially compared to the Howler. Like the Howler is so hard, but the Teacups, you can just spin it right from the start, and it's real easy to spin. I mean, it might not be the easiest thing to spin, but it's pretty easy, and you know, have a lot of fun on it. But you know, yeah. Okay guys, now we came over to Simply Chocolate and got the Reese's Sundae. I believe today is also National Sundae Day, or Hot Fudge Sundae Day rather, but you know, it is what it is. But you know, so we're celebrating 2 national days in one day here at Hersheypark, which is a momentous occasion and great to experience it here at Hersheypark. Okay guys, finished at Simply Chocolate. I mean, that was a pretty good sundae. You know, there was fudge and caramel at the bottom, you know, the chocolate and vanilla ice cream with Reese's Bits, you know, cherry on top, whipped cream. Pretty good sundae. It was about $9 with the discount, because it was originally $9, but then the discount add tax, then it was $9 in the end. So not terrible, and you know, definitely good to eat it on National Hot Fudge Sundae Day. Perfect day to do it. Okay guys, now we're getting on the claw, and actually last time I tried to go on this, I didn't vlog that visit, but you know, somebody ended up throwing up over here when they got off the ride. So, you know, I didn't want to have to wait for them to send maintenance to clean up the ride platform. So I didn't get a ride on it, so haven't been on this in a while, so let's get on it and see how it is. Okay guys, just got off the claw, you know, a classic husk frisbee, a great, you know, flat ride. You know, it's not as intense or as good as some, you know, frisbee style rides. But, you know, for what it is, for the size, it's pretty good. Considering how small it is, it offers a good amount of airtime, not that much, you know, especially if you're not at the apex of the gondola, then it's not as good. But overall, I'd say it's a good filler attraction, you know, better than some flat rides in my opinion. Just all around an enjoyable ride. It's definitely a ride that is very enjoyable, very relaxing, I'd say. Okay guys, now I'm going to be getting on the Frontier Flyers, so let's get on it. Okay guys, just got off of the Frontier Flyers, of course. You know, a classic ride. You know, it's not like the Flyers at Knoebels by any means, but still is a fun ride that you ride every once in a while here at Hershey. But overall I had fun, so moving on. Okay guys, now we're getting on Super Duper Looper, which is arguably the best coaster that goes upside down in the park, so let's get on it. Okay, just got off of Super Duper Looper, and in my opinion, honestly, I would say that nostalgia, like a ride like Super Duper Looper, honestly beats out rides that are, you know, have records like the tallest, fastest, longest, or most inversions. Sometimes Super Duper Looper just beats them out, especially if it has a short wait. You know, it's all you can do. So, you know, overall, fun ride on Super Duper Looper. Okay guys, now we're getting on Great Bear, and we're getting on in the front row, so let's get on it. Okay guys, just got off of Great Bear, and I think this ride definitely had a lot more headbanging than usual. I don't know if that was because I sat in the front row, or, you know, if it's just the train, or that's how it has been lately, I don't know, but definitely a lot more headbanging than usual. You know, right after the lift, and you know, the helix up at the top before the drop, and of course, you know, at the end, right before you come into the brake run, that straight section of track, but you know, or before you come to the straight section of track there with that little twist. You know, that usually has some headbanging, but definitely not, I haven't noticed headbanging at the helix at the top of the lift before. But overall, it was a good ride. I believe only the second time I've ever ridden this in the front row, but overall it was a fun ride. Okay guys, now I'm going to get a ride on Skyrush, so see you afterwards. Okay guys, got off the Skyrush, rode in row 4, left wing seat. You know, obviously, like I said before, it is gotten a little rattly or a little you know, a little rough maybe. But overall, it was a fun ride. And one thing that I noticed is on the seat, in between your legs, where there's a divider, they've had to tape it with electrical tape, probably because it's starting to like crumble or come apart. It's starting to, you know, wear down. But, you know, it's pretty interesting because the seats are only a year old, so it's interesting that they already have to tape them with electrical tape, even though they're only a year old. That's just something I noticed. I don't know, you know, if it's something they might fix on the off season or something. We'll just have to see what they do. But overall, it was a fun ride on Skyrush. Okay, guys, we came to 1906 and got the chicken tenders and the cheese curds. Okay, guys, now we're gonna be heading out. Of course, you know, came here on National Merry-Go-Round Day, so we had to get on the Carousel and some other spinny rides to emulate that, I guess, force or that sensation, rather. But overall, I had a fun day. And I have like 3 things of lemonade, so I'm gonna be drinking lemonade for a while here. But yeah. And if you guys are not already subscribed and you enjoyed today's video, it'd be a huge favor if you guys went down and subscribed, because it's a big thing to help against the algorithm. So if you're not already subscribed, make sure you go down and do that. And overall, I had a fun day. You know, got on a few coasters, a few flat rides, got, you know, some food, got that Sunday was pretty good as well. And we really celebrated 2 national days today at Hersheypark, which was a pretty cool thing to do. But overall, had a fun day. Hope to see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.